project, and today we're going to go over caseload. I'm going to do the live demonstration again today for you guys. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask them in the questions pod as always. There is no handout today. Instead, I put a couple links in your chat. So if you look in your chat window, it's also in the GoToWebinar menu. There are 2 links to our user guide. One of those links is going to show you how you can set up the caseload definition, which I'm going to go over today. The other link is going to show you how you use a new module that's called Caseload Students. So it's a new idea that's in iStar Plus. And then I'll show you how to add per student and a caseload record as well. So just a little bit about caseload. Some of you may be familiar with it. You may already use it, but for those of you who don't, it is an optional piece of iStar. There are 2 main things that are used that this is used for. The first thing is if you want to run reports that show the listing of your classes. So if you want to have a report that you can run by class teacher, maybe they have multiple classes, so you can create multiple classes for that teacher. But say that you want to run a report by those things, okay? Then you can run our class list reports in iStar if you track the caseload records. So that's one thing. What do people do with those? Sometimes they send out an export in Excel to districts via email. They have them make corrections on that. Sometimes they will email them a PDF and have them make corrections on the PDF. Sometimes they will mail them the actual printout or send it in interoffice mail or what have you, those kinds of things. So it's really used as like a roster to be able to send out, receive back, and update data in iStar. Now, the next thing that you can use those class lists for is for your program definitions. So if you use programs for claims for your orphanage students, or if you still do excess cost, then it makes it easier to attach the students to the program because you can search for them by class teacher where they may not have anything else in common. So a lot of times I work with districts where you don't use caseload, and that's okay, but you have to search student by student and add them each manually. If you use the caseload, you can go and search by, say, Mrs. Smith speech class, and you can add all the students in the class at once. Okay, so that's the main reason. It is not required. So it is not a mission critical component of iStar Plus. This is an optional piece. So that's why I've kind of saved this till later. Where I can actually say it's fall now. So I waited till summer was over. We wanted to get the mission critical trainings out of the way first. So not that these next ones are not going to be important. By all means, they're important. It just depends on whether or not you're using these components or not. So if you have thought about using caseload, then hopefully this will help you. If you have questions, again, about how it's utilized, just let me know. If you have questions throughout the session, please let me know in the questions pod. I'm happy to answer them as we go along. So again, no notes today. We're just going to have the links that's in the chat. You should be able to see the chat in your GoToWebinar menu. If not, these links are on our website. Let me show you how to get to this user guide. So I've kind of been, over the years, probably reinventing the wheel on some of the notes I make for you guys. They are pretty, don't get me wrong, but we have someone here who creates these guides here. And so I really am kind of duplicating effort here because this is great too. So the caseload definition and the caseload. So again, it's on our homepage. It's under manuals and guides, the iStar Plus user guide, and it's going to be under student, and it's these 2 sections. Okay. So if you can't find your chat in GoToWebinar menu, then that's where you can find the same thing. I just copied the links there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm really excited. I have a brand new training site. So I will be able to use this anytime I need to. I won't have to ask for any assistance from ISB. I'm so grateful that they have created this for us. It's going to make doing the live trainings so much better for all of us. So I'm using a fake account that is attached to Harrisburg School District. The students are going to be fake. but it will say Harrisburg here, so you're going to see some of that, but you would have to pick a district. So what better than our own? All right, so to start out, you're going to decide, how do I want to, what guidelines do I want to follow? What's my plan? What's my goal here as far as creating caseloads? So under utilities, you're going to go to the caseload definition. That's the first thing you're going to do, is define your caseloads. So again, what is your goal here? Do you want to run reports by teacher? Do you want to run specific reports? Do you want to be able to run them by teacher and then by the class, a particular class? So if they have 5 classes, do you want to show all 5 of the classes? Those are the kinds of decisions you're going to make. And the beauty of it is, it's optional. It's up to you how you want to run these reports, okay? So that's what you're going to be thinking about when you're setting up your definitions. So the definitions are going to be the classes or the class teacher. So I'm just going to do a search here to show you. I created some stuff last week just to kind of get us started. So you can see I just got some test information in here. So let's do an edit on this one so you can see it. So you type in your teacher name. You can select the school. You can put in a location. Again, all of this is optional. So if you're not going to do all of that, it's okay. It's what information do you need? Okay, what's going to help you? Then you type in the class name if you're going to be very, very specific. So if we're going to have Mrs. Smith up here and we're going to have 5 of her classes, then we're going to put that down here. Okay, so maybe it's period 1, period 2, period 3. Maybe it is going to be different subjects. Maybe it's just going to say resource for her and she has 1 class. All right, and then you can put notes here as well. So again, the fields are, you have to fill some of them in, but you don't have to fill in all of them. So you need to think about, what information would you want to see? What sorts would you want? What kind of report would you want to look at? So those are the things you're going to think about as you're designing your caseload definition. So once you create these, then you would go and say, okay, now I need to find the list of students that belong with these definitions. Okay, so that's kind of the idea of this. So I will show you how to create one from scratch here. So you'll hit add caseload definition, and then you type in the information and click add. Okay, so you're going to create that. This would be your result. So I did this 3 times last week to prepare for this. These are my 3 caseloads. Okay. All right, I don't see any questions so far, so I hope everybody's okay. Just stop me if you're not. So again, that's under utilities, and that's your caseload definition. So that's where you're going to define your classes. Then, if you work student by student, and some of you do, and that's fine, then you will notice over in Student Central, I'm going to close a couple of these to make it easier to see. We have our student level data and your approval record and your claim. That's all mission critical, right? We have to do those things. Then we're going to start here with caseload. So if you were to say, okay, for Bevan, I need to add him to one of the classes. So you're going to click on the plus sign. And you can sort by the caseload name, or you can sort by the teacher for your selections. So if you change it to teacher, then it's going to put the teacher first. All right. It's up to you how you want to search. And I've seen so many different caseload listings, and everybody does it differently. Some of them have numbers at the beginning. Some of them have acronyms that mean something, and then they'll have a teacher name. Some of them have email addresses in parts of them. Everyone does it differently. And again, because it's optional, you can do that. You just want to make sure that when you look at a report that it's going to work for you. So my recommendation is, if you are just getting started with this, enter a couple of examples first. Start with a couple of teachers and a group of kids, and that's it. Then go run a report under class lists and see if you like it, if it's going to work for you, okay? So I'm gonna put this student here. Your start date will typically coincide with your begin date on your approval record until you start doing end ads. So when you do end ads, just because something changes on the approval record doesn't mean that the class changed. So they're not always going to go hand in hand with the end ads, but your begin date for most of these is going to be at the beginning of the year right now, of course. And then you can put in the direct and or consult minutes. You do not have to. You can also designate if this person is actually this student's case manager. If you do that, then there is a specific report that only pulls case managers. Okay? And then you can put in notes 1 and 2 if you would like. But again, these are optional pieces. And we see all kinds of data because you're able to use this how you need to. You're able to define the rules for this. So you'll want to save it when you're done. And then you'll see under caseload, it adds that record for the student, shows the minutes, etc. You can do end ads off of here if you do need to. So if we decided mid-year that we needed to change something here, we can go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's going to behave just like your end ad for approvals. So that means we're going to end the one that we have and start a new one. So you can do end ad. You can also delete it, of course, if you made a mistake and did not mean to make that entry. Okay. I still don't have questions. I hope you guys are doing okay. So the new piece is the caseload students. So when you see the caseload drop down here, you can go over on the right-hand side. These things that have the light blue behind them will limit what you see here. So it will change how you see. So do you want to limit this by this pretend class and search by it? You don't have to use these limits, okay, but you can. So again, it's just going to limit what you see in your search. So mine's a little obviously smaller than what you would expect, but if you needed to limit these by a teacher, so if I had 5 classes for Mrs. Smith, we could limit this by Mrs. Smith. And then in this drop down, it would show all 5 of her classes, okay? You don't have to do that. It can just, some of the caseloads are really, really lengthy. Some people have hundreds of caseloads, so they may want to limit the results that they're looking at here. So this is a search. This is going to be a search for existing caseloads. So I'm going to pull up my pretend class, and I'm going to click search. And here's this is Bevan that we added a moment ago. So we already added this student. Now, let's say that we want to add some more kids here. So we're going to click on the plus sign, and we're going to start adding students. You can use the limit. I don't really know why anybody would want to use the limit, but you can use the limit to search individually. So if you know a SysID, you can type in the SysID. If you have a group of kids with the last name Smith, you could limit it to just kids named Smith. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing that I would feel like I would benefit from that. But maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture there. But you can do that. But otherwise, what you can do is go through here and just start adding the kids in your drop down. And if you don't like the sort of the student drop down, you can change it. And I changed it, but to sort by last name. So instead of by SysID, we're going to do last name, which I think would be more popular. So I'm going to just start adding all these kids to the list, okay? So instead of what we did by going on the approval area in Student Central and adding it manually per student, you can add it by the definition in mass. So you can come here again and just start adding all of these kids and then give them a unique start date or a different start date. It looked like it's defaulting to today's date. And then the only downfall to this is that the minutes would all be the same for these kids if you did this here. But you don't have to do that here. And then you can click on add. Okay. So that's a quick way to add them. Now, if you did want to have a comment and says, that's awesome. I think it's awesome too. If you then need to do something unique, like the minutes, you may still have to come over here and do that. So that's that's kind of the downfall there is, to do it, and they're not all going to have the same numbers, unfortunately. That's going to be, something that's going to be a little more time consuming. Of course, up here, this acts like student analytics. So if you don't like the filters that you see, you can change your column selection. You can do some advanced filters also. So if you want to have more specific data there, you can. You can also, of course, export this to a PDF or a CSV if you want to, just the definition. All right. All right. I don't see any questions, so just let me know if you guys are lost, okay? And then if you are working on these right now and this won't help you if you're brand new to caseloads. But if you are already using caseloads and you have not made all of your changes for the new year, you can move kids from one class to another. So you could give them an end date, do a move. I'm not sure how this is going to go with these dates I've got. So let's see what we can do here. So let's do the move. We're ending them and we're going to move them. Yeah, it's not wanting to work out for me right now because of the time of year that it is, but you can move kids en masse is the point of this. Okay. Let me try that again. See if I can move more than one. Let's try it again. Okay. Now you can tell a little bit better. All right, so let's just search by, if it'll let me. It won't let me look at all of them. So let's look at Sarah's class. And there are the kids that we moved. So again, if you've already done your New Year updates, this may not be helpful now, but as an existing user and transferring kids in bulk, I think this would be really beneficial to you guys for the move feature. Okay. And then we also have where you can export this to the CSV. You can make the changes in Excel and then upload it back into the system with this upload students to caseloads from file button. Okay. So again, what you would do is export this to the actually you do the download to upload. Sorry, it's going to still be in Excel. Okay. So it's going to be a CSV and it's going to be in the perfect format to be able to come back in the system. So remember, when you do downloads and uploads, you can't change the columns and the headers. If the fields are blank, that's one thing, okay? If the minutes are blank, we're not going to, that's all right. But you can't delete the names, you can't delete the IDs. So you have to leave those things so that when it goes to upload, they know where to put it back to in the system. Okay, so remember, if you're going to do the download to upload and then work in Excel, make changes in Excel, and then upload it back in, it will be reflected here, but you can't change this format. So I'm going to show you what the format looks like. Okay, you can't take out the SysID or edit the name or the school year, but you can do anything beyond. So from column D over, you can make changes. And then you would save it somewhere and then upload it back into the caseload students section. Okay. All right, do I have any questions on that? So in Classic, we had a download to upload feature and you could upload it back in. Okay, but we didn't have this area. So this is the new feature where you can do the moves and things like that. Okay, I don't see any questions. So let's take a look at a class list. So they're going to be under reports and the type is student and the category is class lists, and we'll hit search. You can see we have several options here, but I'm going to show you the most common. And that's the class list caseload student listing portion. Maybe. I didn't try to run a report last week when I was testing. I just got this on Friday, so this training site. All right, so I'm going to select this school year. I'm going to do null for active as of because we want all of our kids right now in 25-26. If you're a district, you can select, if you're a co-op, you can select a resident district. You don't have to. I don't know why that's showing. I'm going to do all. All right, and all enrollment options. You can come to this caseload data options. If you use events or track the parent address information, or you want to see the approval data, you can select these. And then you can select by class, and we're just going to do all. And I don't know if this is going to run or not. It looks like I may be having an issue, but the report type is class lists. Let's just see if it'll go. I saw that. Yeah, something's kind of wonky with my setup here because I should show Harrisburg, not Jeff District. So it's not going to show what we put in, but normally this is what it would look like is your report. And then with your report, you can print it to a PDF, but you can also send it to Excel if you want to export it as well. Okay. So you have 3 different report options here. Caseload student listing is the second one, and then caseload by class list by case manager. So if you had clicked that case manager checkbox and you ran Mrs. Smith's class, it would only show you the students that she was the case manager for. Okay. Sorry, I can't get that to populate right now. Okay. All right. Do I have any other questions? You guys are really quiet today. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody on this, but it's time consuming to set this up. So, you have to decide if it's really going to be worth the time. But if you do make a lot of programs, I would definitely see this as being beneficial to you. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. If you guys think of something after the session, please let me know. I'm happy to help you. You can call in or email us, and we can get you going if you need help on the caseload. And what should we make caseloads for our SLP, OT, et cetera, or just for the teachers? So it's up to you. If you want to make it for related service providers also because you want to send those reports out, then that's fine. If you don't have a use for them, then you don't have to. When we're creating programs, typically we don't put those personnel on the program. It's usually just instruction. So, you know, if you're just going to do it for program purposes, we don't need to know the list of speech kids usually for programs. So you decide what's best for you. I know that you do make programs. You specifically that I asked make programs. So, you know, your speech folks wouldn't be on there. But if you're going to pass that out to get information from people, then maybe so. Good question. But again, like I said a couple times, that's the beauty of it, is that you can do whatever you want. You can use it however you need to. That data, ISBE doesn't look at that data as far as reporting purposes. It's strictly for you to help make your data more accurate as far as what is mission critical. And we can do that with the new report. Okay, we send out a caseload list to staff throughout the year to double check information. Is there an easy way to do this? We had a script running from the old reports through Google, but I don't think we can do that with the new reports. So the new system is in a different programming language, of course. So that may not work. I don't know what your script is. But other than that, so are you sending them a PDF via email? Yeah, I don't know of another way to do that without your script. And we don't have any automation in iStar Plus. Okay, I'll wait just a second, see if you guys have any more questions. Okay, I don't see anything popping up. So again, let us know if you need help, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. And I will see y'all at the next session. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.